Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here from Studio B, you might call it. Let's just call it that so I don't have to explain that this is where I wind up when my wife sends me to the basement. All right, so we're going to have Carrie Rosingana on with us right now, a frequent visitor, and there's a reason, because more than frequently, what she does is so important to all of us. She's the CEO of the Capital Area Michigan Works, headquartered in Lansing, but taking care of Ingham, Eaton, and Clinton counties. Quite a service area. Carrie, as always, welcome back. It's good to have you here.
Thanks, Chris. Always good to be with you in the morning.
You are hosting a huge event coming up here soon. Let's talk about it.
We are. So we are going to be hosting an event called the MICareer Quest Capital Area on May 19th, and it's taking place from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. right down in the Lansing Center here in Lansing. And the event is a really exciting opportunity for us to be able to bring together over 70 exhibits that employers are going to offer from a variety of different industries and sectors, and to have over 3,000 students that are in high school from our 3 counties be able to come interact and engage with those exhibits and learn a little bit more about what all those opportunities are that are out before them.
You know, and this is the first one now in what, 3 years? It's a
rebirth. It is, yes. So we held our first inaugural event back in 2019, and it was an amazing success. We had such positive feedback from both our educational partners, but more importantly, our business community, who really felt like they had an opportunity to get to show these students about the careers that they have, that they're proud of, and that they really want the next generation to know about. So we did that event in 2019, but then COVID hit. And so this is the first time that we're bringing it back since COVID impacted our region as well as the rest of the world around us.
You know, the whole principle behind this thing, it kind of grew out of an organization which I was involved in called Keep Learning, and then became T3, which was Teach, Thrive, and Teach, Talent, and Thrive. And this, the whole principle of this thing was to expose kids to opportunity.
It was. And so the T3 Council, we feel really appreciative of in our region because it's been a way for us to be able to bring a number of different partners together from the region, including businesses, all of our schools who are in the region, our career tech educational programs together to talk about what those career opportunities are as they're teaching students. And then to also bring in some of those other community partners like United Way, CapCan, which is our college access network, as well as the chamber. So that way we're looking at that pipeline model that's so important so that students know how to plug into what those careers are, how to get those career opportunities for training purposes, and then at the end, hopefully to be able to stay in our region and be connected to those employers that are here right within our 3 counties.
Well, you know, one of the beauties of this is that things that we may have just presumed, like kids being aware that there were opportunities, this is a direct exposure saying, hey, it's not too early to start thinking about career, and here's the many things you might do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so our event this year, we're really focused in on 9th graders. There's a lot of career awareness activities that we heard about from our educational partners who are in 9th grade or 10th grade and 8th grade. So we chose 19th specifically because we felt like this was a great grade to be able to expose them to those opportunities. And you and I both know, Chris, from our work with T3 and Keep Learning before that, sometimes our students, they just don't know what's out there. They see the careers that maybe family members or people that they know in their lives are doing, but outside of that scope, they don't always know what's out there. So to be able to be intentional and deliberate and have these opportunities in an event like this really allows for them to have their horizons broadened and to be able to get to see what's out there.
Well, and I think one of the things we have to do is everybody that's viewing this right now undoubtedly talks to their kids about opportunities. They sit around the dinner table and say, hey, so-and-so does this. And, you know, I see there's a lot of high-tech opportunities. Have you thought about those? There aren't all the population in our community that also has that opportunity, because some of those kids not only don't sit around the dinner table and talk about that, but they may not even have a dinner table.
Absolutely. And I think what we know from working with youth is a lot of the things that they're learning about are through technology. This is different because they get to actually engage and hands on and see people doing the jobs that they do on a daily basis, see how they are coming in and prepared for work. But also get to have opportunities to experience what that might be like. So, an example of that is we have people bring in welding machines, and they are just testing ones, obviously, that are using technology, but the students get to get a feel for what a career in welding actually could be like. And it's exciting for them because they're getting that hands-on opportunity, not only to engage with the work itself, but also to engage and ask questions of somebody who's doing that job and who has chosen that as their career.
I harken back to the first one of these we did, and the fact that the Board of Water and Light had a huge climbing pole, and nobody thought about it, but they needed people to work on the poles and
As
go.
line workers, yep.
So it's like you say, it's so bizarre, the opportunities, and you don't think about it. And then the other one was the hospital system here,
Oh,
Sparrow,
yeah.
who had EKG units and things like that, and kids were just fascinated. So it's really a great exposure for all these kids.
Yeah, and the other thing I would just add briefly, Chris, is we're really fortunate. Our employers partners are stepping up not only as exhibitors, but also as sponsors of this event. So the students get to see their commitment, these employers' commitment to participating and showing them what's out there. And I think that's really meaningful for all of us to be aware of.
Well, it certainly is. And thanks for the good work you do. Carrie Rosingana, the CEO of the Capital Area Michigan Works, servicing Clinton, Eaton, and Ingham County. Thanks so much for the work you do.
Thanks, Chris.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.